Hey kids, welcome to section 9.5, homeowners insurance. Today we're going to learn how to calculate the amount of coverage for homeowners insurance. This would be the amount that you could potentially be reimbursed if anything were to happen to your house or anything or anyone on your property. So why would you need to insure your house? Well, there's all sorts of reasons why you need to insure your house. There are 7 reasons in the picture. If we get hail damage, rain damage, lightning damage, fire damage, if a tree falls on your house, if your house gets flooded, if there is a tornado with a cute little cow, all of these might cause damage on your property. And so we want to make sure that if there is any kind of damage or people get injured in any way, that we have a way to come and recuperate those losses. Okay, so when you are a homeowner, you will need to buy homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance provides financial protection for homeowners against various losses. There are 4 kinds of coverage that you could potentially have in your insurance policy. The first type is called property damage coverage. And this is a type of insurance that pays for damages to one's home and personal property from fire, windstorm, rain, lightning, and other unpredictable events. So, property damage coverage pretty much is anything having to do with weather. And so, if your home gets damaged or any of your personal items from inside the home or around the home get damaged, that would go under property damage coverage. The second type is personal liability coverage. This provides financial protection for homeowners if someone alleges that their negligence caused him or her bodily injury or property damage while on the insured's property. So, if, for instance, my friend comes over to my house and trips and falls and breaks their leg, they could potentially sue me for getting injured on an uneven sidewalk that I was supposed to get fixed. Or if someone was on my back deck and my back deck is a little old and they stepped wrong and their foot went through the deck and they twisted their ankle, they could sue me because their ankle was damaged. Or if their car gets burglarized while on my property, they might sue me. So that's personal liability. Medical coverage is the third type. It pays for medical expenses for non-family members accidentally injured on your property. So if my friend comes over to my house, trips, falls, breaks her leg, I would have insurance that would cover their medical bills. And then finally, loss of use coverage. I think this is one of the more useful ones. It pays for the expenses for living away from your home while your damaged home is being repaired. So if you have a fire at your house and the fire is so severe that you cannot live there while it is being fixed, then you could potentially have some money that you could use to go stay at a hotel while your house is being fixed. Or you might have to be somewhere longer. And so you might have to rent another house or apartment in order to have somewhere to live while your house is being fixed. So to recover full payment for any loss up to the amount of the policy, you must insure your home for at least 80% of its replacement value. And the replacement value is the amount required to reconstruct a home if it is destroyed. So if your house is completely destroyed, the replacement value is how much it would cost to replace the home, not all the stuff inside of it, but the home itself. So if you want to find the total amount of coverage on a home, you're going to take the replacement value and multiply by the insured percentage. Remember that insured percentage has to be at least 80 in order to get your money. If you want then an amount of coverage on a specific item, then you would take the total amount of coverage on a home and multiply by the percent covered. Now we are going to use one specific table from one specific insurance company to talk about all the different things that we could replace. So I have here garage and other structures receive 10% of the payout. Loss of use claims 20% of the coverage. And personal property, those are all of your dishes, your clothes, your furniture, your books, your records. That's called your personal property, and that is 50% of the insurance coverage. So we are going to use this one example of one table from one insurance company to calculate some numbers. So, number one, the Kimbroses home has a replacement value of $82,700. They are insuring it for 80% of the replacement cost. Part A, what is the amount of insurance? So, the amount of insurance, if you look on the previous slide, is the replacement value times the insured percent. So, we're going to take the replacement value, which is 82,700, and multiply it by the insured percentage, which is 80%. So that gives me a total of $66,160. This is the amount of money that I could potentially collect from the insurance company if anything were to happen on my property. Now, this $66,160 is divided up into different pieces. If I want to find for part B the amount of coverage for personal property, I'm going to take that total amount and multiply it by the personal property percentage. So 66,160, and I'm going to multiply it by 50%. This means that I could have $33,080 given to me as part of my personal property reimbursement. Again, if you have a complete fire and you don't have insurance, you don't have any money to go and buy clothes or buy a toothbrush or purchase any of those items that you need to maintain a daily life. Part C, what is the amount of coverage for loss of use? So again, we're going to take that 66,160, and now loss of use is 20%. So we're going to multiply it by 20%. That gives us 13,232. So that means if I have a fire in my house and I cannot live in my house, I could potentially collect $13,000 to go and live somewhere else while my house is repaired. And then finally, part D, what is the amount of coverage for the garage? So go back to the $66,160, and now we're going to multiply 10%. So this is for garage or other structures like a shed, a chicken coop, a silo, a horse barn, anything on your property that is not considered your house. So this is going to be $6,616. So essentially what insurance does is it takes the price of your house and the amount that you're insuring it for, and it finds a total amount of insurance. And then that total amount of insurance is spread among whatever your policy says it covers. So in this case, we're covering garage, loss of use, personal property, and there's an extra 20% hanging around that we're not specifying where it has to go to. Okay, so let's try number 2. Assume that Tilda and Nolan Went insured their home for 90% of its replacement value of $320,000. What is the amount of insurance on the home? Part A. Well, to find the total amount of insurance, you take the replacement value of the house and you multiply it by the insured percentage, which is 90%. So the Wents are going to have a total insurance of $288,000. Part B, what is the amount of coverage for the garage? Well, the garage carries a 10% coverage, so 288,000 times 10%. That's going to give me $28,800. So if my garage gets a tree that fell on it, I could then replace the garage with some of this $28,000 money. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to get all of the 10%. You could get up to 10%, just depends on the damage. Part C, what is the amount of coverage for loss of use? Well, we go back to the 288,000 and loss of use is 20%. So multiply by 20%. That's going to give me $57,600. So if I get kicked out of my house and have to go live at a hotel for a couple weeks, I would have $57,000 to use. And then finally, what is the amount of coverage for personal property? That's 50%. So 288,000 times 50%. That's going to give me $144,000 to go buy clothes, toothbrush, shampoo, bed sheets, towels, kitchen plates, all those things. Okay, finally, example number 3, Joy and Ron Amodeo estimate the replacement value of their home at $194,000. They have insured their home for 80% of its replacement value. What is the total amount of coverage on Amadeus's personal property, garage, and loss of use? Okay, so they want us to actually do A through D and then to add up the 3 different coverages. So first we need to find the total amount of coverage. So take the 194 and multiply it by 80%. That gives us $155,200 to work with. So let's find personal property first because that was listed first. We take the 155,200 and multiply it by 50%. So that gives us $77,600. Then we can find the garage that was listed second. So again, we go back to 155,200 and this time I multiply by 10%. So that's going to give us 15,520. And then finally for loss of use, I again go back to 155,200 and this time multiply by 20%. This gives me $31,040. Now, if I want to find the total amount of coverage for those 3 things, then I add them. And when I add them, I get $124,160. So the combined coverage for personal property, garage, and loss of use is $124,160. All right. Well, if you have any questions, please let me know. And as always, keep calm and keep trucking.